Welcome everyone to this jam-packed episode of Mario Kart Tour content. I'm so excited for this one. There's a lot of ground to cover. We have the week 2 update for the Yoshi Tour. The 2.5-year anniversary is reaching its climax. So we have a new pipe to go over and all of the stats that make these items relevant within the metagame. We also have a brand new tour preview. A brand new city. We'll be taking a look at that shortly, as well as a complete token shop set of pipes to launch. We're going to do that right here. It was a lot of fun the first time, so we're bringing it back. We've been going all in to the data. We're going to reach new heights. There's so many exciting things, including an app that's going to be launching through the community Discord. It's a creation of a turtle dude. More details to come shortly, and that's providing a whole new wealth of data generation that I can supply in the content here, as well as individualized advice. So folks, it's really time. If you're a supporter of this channel and you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. It's very important. This is a labor of love. I spend so much time crafting this information for everyone's benefit out there, and we're oh so close to the milestone. It's really the final reach here, and with your support, you can see the entire community through to that wonderful milestone. Thank you so much. Here's the footage from my ranked results from week 1. We can see first place, which means I have the Birdo me suit now. What a collection. And this is all, having only spent rubies for the one DK me suit as part of the celebration here within the community. Otherwise, I'm not focusing on obtaining an entire collection of Miis, and that's being done strictly through my ranked strategy overall. I've been doing min-maxing, and that's what's optimal for my inventory at this particular point in time. So here we go. We can see my runs and what I achieved here. Yoshi Valley was a triple banana frenzy with 2 banana frenzies. So it was a triple frenzy run, no coins, but it was very good for combo with that middle shelf glider. I only dropped combo once or twice there. And the other 2 runs were double coin frenzy runs. So very good. We can see here that I had an opponent. This is the only one who had a Santa Bowser, and the scores were exceedingly low. So this is just an example of how the ranked algorithm does take your inventory and your skill level as it results to recent performances. And these are all mechanisms that you can make use of for your benefit. So we take a look at some of the drivers that are in their inventory, and I'm comparing that to their high score of 47k, which really goes to show with that level 7 double cap PGP just what their caliber is. So you always want to make use of all the information that's available to you. The ranked system is not as ambiguous as many people make it out to be. As always, if you have any questions about how to proceed in ranked mode or how to better understand it, you can leave it in the comments below. And better yet, for personalized advice, come and join our Discord. Myself, along with several veteran members in the community, offer free advice to all that come. And the community has been booming, and there's so many brilliant ideas that are out there. It's just been phenomenal to see the growth and success of everyone out there. So you can come be a part of that. Invitation link will be in the description below. Next up, I want to show an adaptation of data that's come from a Turtle Dude's app that I ran simulations for, and these are the results for the items in the week 2 pipe, specifically 2 key items, a cart and a glider. That is the purple bunny and the bright balloons. Now, the purple bunny forms an optimal cart combination trio, which is to say if you pick any 3 carts in the game, which 3 cards can provide you with the maximum amount of assumed value coverage. And what the assumed value means, these are the retro courses, the ones that are not locked behind specific events and points in the calendar for Nintendo, so they can appear all throughout the year. And these are the ones that you really want to be focusing your coverage on. This provides you with the most amount of coverage year-round. The Purple Bunny forms the optimal trio of cards alongside the Ramby Runner and the Gold Pumpkin card. Together, these three cards cover 68 of the current 194 assumed value courses in Mario Kart Tour. So this is 100% of the optimal efficiency that you could have just through investing in three cards alone. In addition to that, the Purple Bunny also will go on to form 2 out of the 4 combinations of 4 cards, that is to say a quartet of cards that provide the maximum amount of coverage for all of these assumed value courses. And then we take a look at the Bright Balloons, which doesn't form the optimal glider trio. However, it's right on the heels of what's optimal. And that is 67 of the 194 current assumed value courses in Mario Kart Tour. And this represents 95.7% of the efficiency of the optimal combination, which would be 70 of the 194 assumed value courses, and that's formed from the 8-bit Bullet Bill glider, the 8-bit Super Mushroom glider, and the Dragon Wings. But as we can see, this combination here pairs that Bright Balloons glider with the black Great Sail as well as the 8-bit Super Mushroom. However, the Bright Balloons does falter when we expand optimization within one's inventory for a larger grouping of gliders, and that is to say that when we take a look at the best quartet of gliders, the optimal combination that you can form with the Bright Balloons falls off pace significantly from the optimal efficiency there. When it comes to these items and what they can present your account in terms of the least amount of tickets to obtain the most amount of coverage, Purple Bunny is definitely a superstar in that regard. Bright Balloons, in a very limited inventory sense, is nearly as good, but when we take into account more robust inventories, particularly if you're a more veteran player who has more options at your disposal, the Purple Bunny still maintains that optimal placement among several different combinations, whereas the Bright Balloons falters and there's other options that present better coverage for your account. All right, now let's pull up the details on the pipes. So we can see that there's 6 items in the spotlight, and I'll go through the value on these and we'll talk about the projections on the new ones, as well as we'll launch the free pipes as well. So we can see that the 6 spotlight items include White Birdo, and we'll just pull her up right here and take a look at her special skill is Triple Mushrooms, we can see there, and her initial starting value has 9 courses, and they're all assumed, so that's good news for her. But where is the value of this going to take her, right? Because I know the number one question that I've been asked throughout this tour is, do I expect Birdo White to represent the value that Birdo Black did in 2021, last year, right? Will she be that much of a powerhouse? And my answer to that is this: Birdo White rather will power your account if you decide to go in for her, right? However, I am cautious about the level of dominance that Birdo White will come to represent as the months carry on, right? As her value becomes fully realized, and there's a number of factors for that. One being that the skill, Triple Mushrooms, is better than Birdo Black's skill, was the Bob-omb Cannon, right? And there is a tendency to show favor for some of these Bob-omb Cannon drivers, but it's not all entirely attached to the skill. That's a loose correlation. That's not a strong correlation. So we can't just limit it to just that alone. What we also have to take into account is the kinds of courses that are coming to Mario Kart Tour, right? We have this flood of retro courses that have been coming in. It's been a beautiful thing for the game, right? But what the development team has been doing is they've been recycling the new courses tour in and tour out, giving them massive amounts of exposure up front, and that's reducing the threshold of brand new exposures for all of these items that come in tour in and tour out, right? Because if it's always showing Wario Shipyard, always showing Sky Garden, always showing Bowser's Castle, that's limiting some of these older retro tracks like the Choco Mountains or the Royal Raceways, and some of them that haven't been seen in a very, very long time, such as Shy Guy Bazaar, right? Or like SNES Rainbow Road, you know? So these are ones that could be filling in value, but they're not, because it's being blocked essentially by these newer tracks that are very fun to play through. But once an item is exposed to that value, it's not going to receive the buff after its initial exposure to that. So what this is doing is it's perhaps changing the trends on some of the buffs, and this is something that we'll be following, right? It's not totally written in stone, and that's what we do here on the channel. We monitor the trends, and then when things appear overwhelming and clear, I come on and I share that brand new wealth of information with all of you. So what are my expectations for Birdo White, taking into account numerous features here? Well, for one, given the amount of premium skills that have been brought to the game, this is another thing, right? All of the coin box drivers, all of the Lucky 7, the Boomerang, the Giant Banana drivers, it's been non-stop. It's a frenetic pace, right? And this is one that doesn't have one of those such skills. So she would be eligible for that paywall buffing favor, right? They're not going to be giving Coinbox a lot of the retro tracks, the ones that they're bringing in brand new. We see that those often go to, you know, it plateaus with, you know, the Boomerang driver or the Lucky 7 driver or the Triple Banana driver, right? It's Giant Banana and Coinbox have a great reduction when it comes to observed new paywalled rank tracks compared to some of these other skills. So, you know, she's always going to be eligible for that. But when I say that I'm being cautious about comparing the white version of Birdo's character to the black version, is that the sheer magnitude of dominance that Birdo Black displayed last year was really unprecedented. I mean, she was like 10 points ahead of the number 2 option in terms of the raw score in Tabor's algorithm at one point, I do believe. So even if Birdo White reaches that number 1 ranking, which there's some things, some question marks that could jeopardize that. You know, she will be in that like 1 to top 12 to 15 range, absolutely, at some point in time, because that's the kind of value that these, you know, limited selection villain characters tend to get, particularly in the case for Birdo. So, you know, she's going to be in the conversation this year. Will cover your account much more significantly than that of Yoshi Gold Egg, in terms of if you're just looking for course coverage, if you're not trying to fill that in with a specific skill that matches the blueprint of what you're playing for. If you're just looking to cover these courses to enjoy the tracks and unlock frenzies, then yes, Birdo White will offer more options there. So that's my takeaway on Birdo White. She could very well end up being the number 1 driver. That is not a guarantee. And if she does become the number 1 driver, I wouldn't anticipate the magnitude of that to be quite on the level of what we saw with Birdo Black. But significant character potential here, that is for sure. Now we take a look at the white Turbo Birdo, which, I mean, similar situation, right? The black Turbo Birdo last year became a powerhouse, not quite on the level of Black Birdo, the character, mind you, right? I mean, it was right around the same time as the Rambi Runner, and they kind of flipped that 1 and 2 rankings when the value became fully realized. So here we can see same kind of deal, 9 track starting value, all assumed this is very good. Rocket Start Plus, but we don't put an emphasis on that. It's primarily on the course selection, right? And what we see here is there are a lot of good high action count courses, right? All of the Yoshi Valley courses have a high action count potential, as well as the Bowser Castle, the Maple Treeway. I mean, these are ones that are looking at 200 plus actions, and that's what's critical for a cart if you're looking to invest into them, is the action count, not just for the bonus points boost. But if we take a look at this, we earn bonus points multiplier, right? You know, the X 1.1, and it goes all the way up to X 1.3 when it's totally maxed out. And what that does is for each action, that base action, like your mini turbo, that's 5 points, that's multiplying it by 1.3 every time that you do it, right? So there is implied value in these carts on greater action count courses than those of shorter circuits, right? So this cart from that standpoint looks good. And once again, there is the same things apply to this cart that apply also to Birdo White in terms of like, what will the value be? And it's not just that, but it's also the influx of items that we see. And that means that there's more items that are vying for these brand new buffs, okay? And there's a number of things that the game can do. Will we see the value of these items' lifespans increased, whereas, you know, normally we see the value peak and plateau at certain points, and then it declines in terms of the addition of new courses, mind you. They never take away courses. That would be unprecedented, but could we see an expansion of their lifespan in which, you know, once they are finally exposed to that, or will it result in like a sort of nerfing, or perhaps I should say a reduction in the rate of the power creep? And what we talk about in terms of power creep is not just in terms of their scoring potential, but the value that they present, right? How we talk about year one syndrome in the game, how, like, you know, they get these very old items that don't present course value. One such example, I mean, a prime example, right, is in the tier shop down here, and that is with the black circuit cart, right? I don't possess this cart, but there's no value in it, right? I mean, it was released, I believe it was in like the second tour of the game. And we can see here, it only has 9 level 1 courses. That is the starting value for Birdo White in the White Turbo Birdo, okay? And then you get the 5 extra unlocks. So that's 14 courses. I mean, there are a great number of super carts that present more coverage than this. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about showing the age of these items. To go back to the point that we're talking about here, I don't know if we will see a reduction in course coverage overall, because that does make it harder for Nintendo to sell these items to players, right? Because if there is just this selection of inventory that is just vastly superior to everything else, then they have to keep selling you with the potential that this will fill out more coverage, and that's why it's worth pulling on this pipe for. So especially, like, it's hard, they have to work hard to earn the sale of your rubies, right? If you think about this, like, they just released a brand new coin box driver. Last tour we had the giant banana and the boomerang character, right? And then the return again of Kangaroo Yoshi, whose value is fully realized with 37 courses overall. And then it's like, how are they going to sell this to you? They have to make it good, right? I mean, that's the only way that they could sell it to you. So you always want to think about things from their context, not from our own individual context, but how things apply to their ecosystem, and what are the ramifications of all of the development choices that they make. It all plays a significant role in what we see and experience. So anyway, let's talk about the other 4 items that I already mentioned. Of course, the purple bunny cart, and this is the value that I was talking about, folks. 29 courses overall, 24 of which is assumed value, which is the second most for any cart. So this is quite the power player. The only downside of the purple bunny, the only thing that we can speak ill about it, is that the hitbox is rather small. So, but that's only going to factor in with certain drivers and obviously with Coinbox. So everything else for the purple bunny speaks volumes about how efficient and successful this item can be for your account. And then we take a look at the aforementioned Bright Balloons. It has 22 assumed value courses, so still a very meaty selection overall, and it has 28 total courses overall. All told, that's 6 nitro courses. So the Bright Balloons is also a formidable item, and these are items that came in during 2021. So that's contrasting the value now to the next two items that I'm about to show you, and that is Nabbit. Now, Nabbit was at the forefront of value at one point in time. If we go back in time 13 months till last March, Nabbit's value was top of the mark, bar none, of anything that exists in the game. Now it only has 27 courses overall, and I say only because so many things have gone into the 30 course range. And of these 27, 5 of them are nitro values. So 22 assumed, that's very good. But the problem is for Nabbit, and this is the thing that a lot of players with those robust competitive inventories run into. Out of those 22 assumed value courses, only 4 of them does it have the top skill on, right? So it's running into Coinbox, Giant Banana, and Boomerang. You know, these are items that have greater scoring potential than that of the Lucky 7, and that has significant implications on just how much use you can see out of this, unless you specifically tailor your account for this character, which is something that is a big foundational pillar of what I talk about here on the channel, because it's not just about performing the best, because there are many different ways to express a competitive outlet in Mario Kart Tour, but still maintain a sense of identity and a sense of enjoyment that isn't just strictly I must win all the time. So those are some thoughts around that. So Nabbit's value, we can see, isn't on par with current drivers, but the value is still very good because he was on that leading edge of value. For a character that was brought to the game in 2020, Silver and Gold Hearts, a similar deal was brought to the game in 2020 in that gold pipe, and the value on this has 23 assumed value courses here, 6 of which are all nitro based. So the 6 nitros are right there, right? We have the LA, the Paris, and the Merry Mountain. So that has 17 assumed value courses. Now, the one thing that the Silver and Gold Hearts does have going for it is that it covers some of these older retro courses that, yes, while they're not exposed much, so if you're looking to invest for coverage, the return that you're going to get on your tickets for the Silver and Gold Hearts now is diminished compared to gliders that you're covering on these new courses that just repeat tour in and tour out, so you're getting consistent value off of them. But it will fill in like the Royal Raceways, which is not seen nearly to the extent that it was last year, but these are courses that you do need coverage for, and Silver and Gold Hearts has a nice composition for a grouping of those. So overall, the value on that is not significant, but for certain kinds of accounts, it is one that is worth investing into. But once again, the focus needs to be on the modern generation of tracks, and that's how you'll find a greater return for your investment. So if we take a look at the details here, we can see it is a 9% high-end pipe, so you get one standard pull on all the rest of it. So let's just go off and fire the freebies now. I do hope that was quite detailed, and hopefully you found information no matter what kind of player you are. I connect the dots all the way from free to play to pay to win. So great stuff here. Hopefully we get some great luck. The first one is green, so oof. Okay, but we get a super, the Parawing, one-time superstar on my account. Not anymore. that's for sure. So, but still, a super is a decent pull, especially one that's in the daily selects. But we have a gold pipe. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, will it be something new to power the account with? That would be so good. I've put so much attention on the purple bunny. The thought of adding that to my inventory, especially because it pairs well with the Rambi runner. But here's the deal, folks. You might be thinking like, hey, KG's really high on this purple bunny cart. Will he pull on it like he did for the yellow off-roader? Not a chance, folks. It only has 5 concourse overlaps, which is half of that from, you know, the Rambi runner and the yellow off-roader respectively. And, you know, especially going into a 100 pipe specifically for a cart, you saw how my polls went. I'll put a card up above if in case you missed it. But, you know, that's a potentially costly investment for a part of your inventory where you can do a lot of mixing and matching. Like I said, the purple bunny cart, while it is in 2 of the 4 optimal quartet of cards, there's 2 other combos, right? And as you expand your inventory further, you see the percentages decline with that as well. So amazing card, but it's not mandatory. That's why I say, like, nothing is a must-have in this game, and that's where you can really exert control on your pipe pulls. So all that aside, let's see what we actually got here, right? Okay, so it was just a standard glider. Butterfly Sunset, but hey, it's a high-end, folks, so I'm happy about that. Would have been sweet to pull one of the new items, though, that's for sure. At least a new one for my account. Anywho, let us now talk about the new tour preview, right? It's like we spent so much time on that analysis, and now it's time to look ahead and see where we're going next. We saw that they released a card on the Twitter page with promotional artwork showing a brand new Daisy and a brand new Rosalina alt. They look fantastic. With tulips and windmills, and it's like as soon as we saw the tulips, it's like, that's Amsterdam, folks. Such an essential part of that nation's history, and it's great to see. It's going to be a beautiful track, so we're going to get to hear the music, we're going to get to see the sights of it. It's going to be fun, so let's take a look here. This is the Amsterdam Tour, no surprise there. So here we go. Oh, what kind of, wow, that cart is huge and it's gaudy. Oh my goodness. So there's a ferry. Cool. And we have another kind of like a farm tractor cart that looks a little bit like a dozer and a little bit like a pull buggy. So we see that there's going to be a Luigi pipe and there's going to be a Peach and Peachette pipe. Yeah. It looks great. It's a combination of like the countryside and the city. They've done a lot of cool stuff with Mario Kart Tour cities, and I think at some point in the development, this was a discussion that occurred on our Discord. It seems like the developers became cognizant of, okay, some of these courses are being ported now into Mario Kart 8 through the DLC that's we have 8 waves of this, right, through the year 2023. And along with that, we have now courses that are being designed more so that the geography and the mapping of that fits with a more friendly racing style for that of Mario Kart 8, and still in a way that's pushing the boundaries for Mario Kart Tour. So we see that it's the best of both worlds with a lot of these recent cities compared to maybe some of the original ones like Paris. Oh, there's the pipe pull video that I was talking about before. Anyway, really great stuff there. And also, shout out to Joe from the Discord. We have the Nabbit suits, right? So let's just take a look and see what this is here. Oh, it went horizontal. Okay, so the head is facing backwards, just like the King Boo one. So So this is Racing Suits Wave number 4. It's going to have the Lucky 7 special skill, which is not a surprise. They always have the skill bearing that of the inspiration for that. So very cool here. Oh, so we have a suit wave number 5, and it's very ambiguous what that will be. It has no distinguishable features, but that means that we can rule out then some of the things that it could potentially be there. Anyway, that takes care of the news. Looking so much forward to racing on Amsterdam. That's marvelous. It was one of the most requested cities. I mean, even when I first came into the game, Amsterdam was one that I was always hearing about. And I mean, there's a badge for it, so it's good to see all of that enthusiasm from the community has been realized and brought about from the developers. This year has been so good for the game. It's really just been marvelous. So last order of business here, folks. But it's a big order of business. We have the token shop pipes, and there's 30 of these things to fire. I only fired the one on the initial reaction to this tour. So what do I want to see out of this? Look, it's very grounded expectations, right? On average, we're going to find about like 3 gold pipes, you know, but variance plays out. Anytime you go into the pipe, variance will play out. You can get 0 gold pipes, folks, or you can get 6 or 7. I hear, you know, the whole range of that from all the users who are active on the Discord. So I don't have my heart set on like, oh, I need to have so many gold pipes. No, it's not significant to me. But one thing that I would like to see is like, okay, if we're not hitting gold pipes, if we're not getting that premium value on the account, let's cut down on the amount of these red scam tickets, as I call them. They're really only good for players that are constantly uncapping their stuff, right? So for my account, I have over 200 of each kind. It presents no value whatsoever. And then it's the item tickets, which these do have more functional value to all players. But with my ranked approach, I'm able to conserve so many of them. So I have over 500 of them. So resource polls, right? I'd love to see any kind of a skill ticket, even if they're normal skill tickets. That's great for my personal situation, right? It varies based on each of our personal situations. And then it's coins, 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 coins. My shops have been becoming alive once again. So we can see that my coin count up there is a little bit lower than the last time that you saw it. So anyway, let us start firing on these pipes and see what we can get. First one up, technically the second one. We have a green. Is this going to be a long day, folks? Is this going to be a long day? Oh, get triggered right out of the gate, right? Okay. Well, you know what? It can only go up from here. We're gonna have that glass half full approach, right? That's what we do here. Got to maintain the optimism. Still green. Okay, glider skill ups, much better. We're back on the right foot there. And I love that they do ×3 for the normals, because it gets the wheels in my head thinking like, okay, you know, potentially maybe there is a pathway forward for leveling up some of these things down the road. We'll have to see how the accumulation of this goes. We'll take a look at where my tickets are at the end of this. Another green. Okay, glider, points cap tickets, anything that's super, I don't mind. I'm not going to complain about anything that's super, because you know, while the value isn't perfect in the ecosystem for the supers, it's been gradually declining over time. Ooh, then this is what we're talking about, folks. That, you just give me a steady dose of that. You know, I don't need to have like 5, 6, or 7 gold pipes. No, that alone is good enough. Okay, 3 rubies. So this is a good distribution of resource pools. I could just, you know, and this is where this feature is so nice, in my opinion. It's just that, you know, it's something that we didn't have before. So it's like, I don't like to see everybody complaining about these pipes, because it's like, this is why we can't have anything nice, right? We have to realize that this wasn't accessible before. So this is just adding value to our accounts, right? We don't need to be on the leading edge. It's the whole keeping up with the Joneses mentality. Good news. But it's like, you know, if your free pipe luck isn't as good as everybody else's, you're not going to be falling behind. Trust me, folks. I tried to de-escalate the entire, like, keeping up with whoever. Like, who are you keeping up with? It's a sandbox, individualized game. You might wonder, like, why doesn't Kevin do rankings for top drivers, top skills? You know, I'm such a supporter of the work that Tabor does. But the thing is, my personal view of Mario Kart Tour, and through all the study that I've applied, and the application of that, and seeing the supporting evidence that's come from it, there's so many ways to do things. It's so individualized. It's like you can almost ignore everyone else. And as long as you're focusing on the entire ecosystem and that full understanding, you can make things work, things that are even more restrictive than what I do. But certainly I am near the max on the restricted scale. So let's see what our gold pipe is here. So we have a glider points cap ticket. Not the best. That's definitely lower tier for gold pipe, but we're not going to complain because it's a gold pipe. We're on the board, and that's a good feeling. All right, back to the greenies. Oh, hey, that's a nice pull. All right, level 3 for the mushroom glider. And this is DK Summit T currently. Hopefully, if there's new Kong content, they'll put a driver and they'll put that Kong set, especially the glider, on DK Summit T, because it's lacking, whereas the Ramby Runner already covers that in terms of carts. So yeah, that's a good one for now, because it's kind of like a stopgap coverage, and that's how supers are really in the current ecosystem. That we don't want to see. Let's not repeat this. We don't want to see too many repeats of that. It's bound to happen with 30 polls, though. You know, it's just like I think the last time I pulled, like, what, like 7 or 8 of them. I didn't even count, honestly. It just felt like a flood of that. So we're just going to speed along here. Okay. I thought the lag might have meant a gold. Oh, wow. Wow, we are made. We are a made man, folks. Yes. All right. That feels good. That feels good. It's probably better for my account than 45 rubies, because where are the rubies going? It's going for the next Kong. But this is going to, you know, tickets, high-end levels, the practical sense that powers the account. So, you know, like I said in the resource masterclass, save your rubies, spend your coins, right? So, wow, that is very nice. Now it doesn't matter what happens the rest of the way for me. That value is significant, and we're just adding on to that. This is much better than the first time. Yeah, I told people on Discord. I said, look, I did, by my own admission, very well the first time around, you know, with the 3 gold pipes right on average, but having all of those red tickets, you know, that was not doing anything for the account, really. So it's like I would actually prefer less gold and just more resource pulls. So this has been very, very nice, even if I don't get another gold the rest of the way. Okay. Cart cap. I mean, carts, that is the most bloated section of the inventory. So any kind of a cart resource has the most demand on it, that's for sure. Okay, that's one that's like very close to that of the red tickets and the item tickets from my account. The normal cap tickets really don't present any kind of value whatsoever. But that does. That's always nice. And the reason for that is that, look, the points capping further skewed the gradient on the rarity scale, right? When we talk about the rarity scale being that of normals, supers, and high ends. And as soon as points capping became a thing, it changed the value of things. And this is something that I did a little analysis on my Discord. I'm gonna go into greater depths on that in the near future, but it's like when the game was in its infancy, right? When level 6 was the maximum, when points capping wasn't a thing, the value of a super was 84% of that of a high end, right? Because the bonus points boost that you were getting from a fully maxed out super was 33.5, and it was 40 for a high end driver, right? And now, through expansion to level 8, and particularly the points cap expansion, those, each time you unlock more points capping, it separates the high end from the super, and the super then from the normal, right? And that's created a situation now where the value of the super in terms of bonus points boost is 69.6% of that of a high end. So, and if they ever applied a fourth capping, it would be even more detrimental. So that's where the whole numerical supporting evidence comes from when I say it's a high-end game. That's not just like a soundbite. That's a numerically supported mechanism in the game's ecosystem. Ooh, we are hitting it really good with coins. They heard me, and they've been very huge in terms of support, and this feels good. Whoa, what? That was a fake green cart points cap. This is going so much better than the last time. So much better. Oh my goodness, folks. Wow. I can't believe that. That was fun. That was fun. So I had a fake green with a points cap for the cart, which is the one that I actually need. And then we followed up with a gold, folks. Oh, this is so good. So good. Oh my goodness, a driver skill ticket. That's my first skill ticket from these, in the most valuable kind. Wow. Wow. We are hitting this one out of the park, folks. We are hitting it out of the park. We're not even yet at the 500 token cost one, so we're still more than 10 away from the end here. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're not going to complain about that. We're not. It's just, it's here we go, final 10. Can we get one more good thing? That's essentially, the mindset here, right? Otherwise the value has already been made on the account, and it's been a beautiful thing. So, okay, I'll find new ways to waste them, I guess. Honestly, I wish that I could pass them out to players who are really in needy and demanding positions in their game. Obviously that sort of thing doesn't exist, and it's understandable why, but I would give out them by the hundreds if I could. So that's nice. Super ticket. Oh, super glider. Very nice. I'm on the board with the flower glider. Does present some Kong coverage. Another greenie. Boy, a steady dose of those 10 item tickets. It's like I'll check my ticket counts, and the most impressive thing is like, wow, when did KG get to 600 item tickets? I guess in some sense, that's beneficial in a way, because when the point does come for me to do that ACR run, when there's a Kong on the badge, a new one being brought to the game, if I'm in a position where I'm in that like first place spot, I'll just burn through them resetting instead of, force closing the app to retrieve that ticket into the count, which is something that I've practiced, and that's why I have the count that I do. So you can do that as you're crossing the finish line. If the run isn't good enough, just swipe up on the app and force close it, and that ticket won't have been expended. It will be back into your ticket count. So if you're watching this and you're wondering, like, why is KG so down on item tickets? Well, there's a skillful way to save them that has existed since the very beginning of the game. Very nice. I've just been so happy with these. Really feels like it's a force for good. And you know, certainly, look, folks, we hit, was that 3 high-end items? We hit the 10K coin, so that's like 4 premium hits. That's above average, right? You know, for sure. So if you're watching this and you say, wow, my pipe pulls were not nearly as good as that, you know, perhaps they were for you last time, or they will be next time, okay? You know, it's variance, you know, so we'll go through, you know, these large highs, and, you know, we'll cross the valleys, right? That's just the way of probability and chance. All right, so very happy. This is only the second of those, I believe, that we saw. So that's worked out much to our favor. You know, perhaps if anything can be done to just even slightly decrease the rate, not to expand the rate of like the premium items, but just like, you know, the middle of the range, like the normals and supers, mind you, like that alone, I think would benefit. Although, I mean, that's looking at things from my context. So I really, you know, should walk that back and say, like, you know, there are players out there that do need those red tickets. So, you know, just like the item tickets, I wish I could give them out, because I'd certainly like to see the resources be put to use instead of just, you know, never reaching the end. Anyway, folks, there we have it. Wow, that was a lot of fun. I'm still like, I'm going to have to, when I go through the post-production on this, see the totality of what that was. Granted, you know, I'm just not used to having that kind of good luck on things. So today was a much better day for the pipe pulls, and I'm happy about that. Hopefully I shared some fun and enthusiasm, and certainly we brought a steady dose of information, context, and detail, as we always do on the channel here. So if that sort of thing matters to you, if you like accurate information that you can take to your bank and expand your understanding of Mario Kart Tour, please subscribe to the channel. It really means the world, and I'll be seeing you all soon with even more detailed Mario Kart Tour content. Have a good one, you all. Best of luck on your pipe pulls. Take care, everybody. See you in Amsterdam as well.